Hi guys, welcome back for another one. Today we're playing Spellcaster University. Now, this is not my first time playing Spellcaster University, but it is my first time playing it on this channel. So throughout this series, I will try to do my best to be tutorial as possible, to call things out, tell you what they are. There are multiple ways to play this game, or multiple ways to achieve the same objective. So some of you may disagree with my tactics, but I'm going to explain the tactics that I take that have pretty much made me successful in this game. As we look at what we're going to be doing in this series, we're going to be going for the last set of challenges, which is the speed challenge. I'll get in with the speed challenges here in a second, but this game has 5 different challenge modes that you can play in, and as you beat them, as you can see, you unlock cards that you can use in the future. So with that said, we'll explain more when we get into it. Like I said, I'm going to be very as tutorial as I can be in this playthrough, just so if you guys are not familiar with the game, you get more familiar with it, or if you're looking for some tips and tricks, maybe I'll have some that you never thought of before. Anyways, let's go into a new campaign. We're going to play on sorcerer difficulty because this challenge is the one that I've dreaded the most. I feel like it's going to be the most challenging, and there's a reason why I feel like it's going to be the most challenging. I'll get into a second. Normal length. You can set it up here to longer. I have never played anything longer than normal. I've never played short or anything like that, but normal game speed is what I'm going to play on. Challenge rules, we're going to go with the speed challenge. So the speed challenge, the forces of evil advance faster, 25% more faster, and no students ever applies for 7-year studies. So to me, this seems like the worst one. For those of you not familiar with this game, you start out with like no buffs whatsoever. You'll build 6 schools, and then the 7th school is the final one. And the idea is to beat the Lord of Evil. Is it the Lord of Evil? I think it is the Lord of Evil. I don't know. Someone evil is coming after you, and yeah, it is evil. Evil forces. So with that said, and the good thing about having 7-year studies to get them early is that they have the most time to learn magic and give you permanent buffs. When your student graduates, you get something for it. Sometimes it's just prestige or lack of prestige, but sometimes it can be temporary gains or permanent buffs. You really want those permanent buffs as you go to make things easier, as each school that you can do has its own unique challenges, and some are more challenging than others. And like I said, we'll explain this more here, but basically with the forces of evil moving faster, it's less time you have. So not only cannot get a student that can learn for a really long time, the forces of evil are even coming faster. So I'm really interested to see how this one goes. It's been quite a few months since the last time I played, but we're going to get into it. Before we go, I believe we have to create our school. Cool. I'll just take what they're giving me, but I feel like we should pick something different here. There we go. This reminds me of what we're going to call it. Fire Burst U. Fire Burst U. All right. Okay. All right. So then when you pick your name, you'll start with 3 locations. There's going to be more locations on here. Like I said, you'll create a total of 6 schools before eventually the 7th school is on the turtle. We'll explain more what happens when we get there, but we have 3 locations to pick out. The lake is usually my favorite, but we're not going to do lake first here, just because the last couple of times I've tried it hasn't worked out in my favor. But lake is a really good one to get to, because if you can complete this objectives with the lake monster, you get a huge buff, which you can turn into some permanent buffs early with the lake. And if you're really good at this game, or if you're playing on a very easy mode, you can make a lot of archmages very quickly. And if you're wondering what an archmage is, it's like the trump card of all graduations. Next is the village. Village, the students are richer, which is very tempting. But we have to deal with the minstrel. Minstrel causes some trouble. The minstrel causes a little bit of a debuff on my learning rate, which we're already going to be dealing with quite a bit of. The one I'm going to start with is the forest. The forest, we have a little bit larger land to build with, so we can build a lot of stuff if we want to build a lot of stuff. Students are poor, which is going to be the biggest problem of the school, and I'll explain more here in a second. Students are werewolves. Werewolves are not bad. They help your students behave, or at least they help the behavioral of your students, which is great. It means they're focusing on their studies. They can learn a little better. Troll might cause them trouble. A lot of places have their own little unique group. But yeah, we're going to get into this one, and then I'll explain when we get in here why the poor students is not ideal for the very first school, but we can definitely find ways to off-trade that. All right, so we're loaded in here to our very first school, and I'm not going to read all this storyline stuff. I've done it in a previous playthrough on a different channel. I just want to focus on more game mechanics and game, like just breaking down the game in general. If you want to pick up this game yourself, by all means, you read the text, have some fun. Like I said, it's a nice story. So Basically, this is all opening text you always get in every school. It's focused on whatever school you're going to, or wherever you're going to build your school location specific. This one, remind us again, students are poorer than usual, but have higher chances of being werewolves. So we have 3 things we can choose from. So the first option is this place is full of magical creatures. We get a stable, which is a classroom, and a farm, which is a creature that we can use. Details I'll cover it if I go there. We can get straight up gold right at the start, which is great. So you have 6 different card piles. You have your gold, the gold deck, which is a standard deck, which is where you start. Then you have a nature deck, light deck, shadow deck, arcane deck, and alchemy deck. Now your students can help you gain points for these decks. How they gain points is by going to this classroom. So you need classrooms that represent these classes or studies or whatever you want to call them. But gold is why gold is important to start, because your students will pay you for certain things that you have set that they'll pay you for. And we'll get into that here in a second also, which is something I always mess with. Out of that one, we can get 101 rooms I call them 101 rooms for each of these categories, which then can help generate, let's think of it like mana, right? It generates this mana for these that nature, light, and so forth, right? So gold's good. We can get a few more pulls of the deck, because that's what you do. You pull from a deck, you get 3 cards, you choose one to play. The next one, we can draw a card of Counselor's Office and Trophies Case. This one's I'm absolutely not even going to consider. Counselor's Office is a place where your students can go. They can get a reroll at their future. Not going to be that great, especially early on, as you're not going to have very good futures to pick from right away. Trophy Case, not going to help me too much. So it's either so if I get the stable, I automatically get a nature room, which can help start generating nature or mana for the nature deck. Which sounds pretty good. I don't know how many more pulls 900. I'm thinking that's going to give me 2 or 3 pulls. Tough one. More gold. Let's get the stable. All right, let's pause right away. This game likes to start and play. So we did start out with some cards, and I'll explain each one as we go. New houses, new students, dormitory, student hall, refectory, and the stable and the farm we just got from our options there. First thing we're going to do before we do anything is we're going to go to classes and students. When you go here, first time you load. Oh, this is actually not what I want. Sorry guys, not what I wanted. Head teacher's office. That's where I want to go. The head teacher's office. You have a few clickable things here. Some of these are really nothing. This one's a map. This one tells you you can check how many like your buffs and how many graduations you've had throughout all your universities. But the one we need to focus on is the one on here on the desk. This is where you set your rules. What do you want? I don't even know why you do all women, all men, unless I was doing a particular funny challenge. Not in this playthrough. We're not. Discipline, you can, how much you think, poor discipline. It tells you exactly, if you curse over, it tells you exactly what it happens. Students misbehave more, but get bored slower. This is kind of medium strict, students misbehave less, but get bored faster. So you can always tailor your school. So like, hey, if they get bored faster, we'll just have more things that entertain them. And they want, you probably don't have to worry about things like a jail or something like that. Other rules: reduce curriculum by 1 year. We're absolutely going to take this one. It's my favorite thing to do early on. Is I want fast graduations. I want fast graduations so I can get either temporary stuff to help me build faster, to get some, which ultimately what I'm hoping for is to build up to permanent buffs for the next school and the next school after that. So we're going to grab this one. We're going to keep this one until we know exactly what objectives we're going to have. We're going to be getting 3 objectives. One of them is going to be a certain future that we need our graduation wizards or witches. I guess the women are still witches. what future they get when they graduate. Pre-selection, you can select these down, but no matter what you do here, you're going to get less students applying. So we're going to do no pre-selection. Application fee, we're going to change this one to 30. Now, the more you charge, or the less you charge, I should say, the more students you get. The more you charge, the less you'll get. We're doing 30 right away because we know automatically we're getting 5 students. Why not charge them the most? They're automatically locked in. At the end of every semester, quarter, however you want to break it down, you're going to get applications. So charging less, you'll get more of them than if you were charging more. Free dormitories. Once again, this is one of those things, like the richer your students are, the more you want to make them pay for things. We have poor students, we're going to give them free dormitories. We're going to pay our teachers 6 gold pieces for salary. We can pay them more if we want them to be more effective, or If we don't have the gold, we want to keep some gold, we can be cheap and they'll be not as effective. And then refectories automatically default on paid meals. There is a little sweet mechanic for organic meals. I'm not going to get into that one, but I could. Refectories efficiency improves for each nearby stable in green. Oh, we have to do a green. Oh yeah, the greenhouse thing. I hate greenhouses. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how it is. So I'm not going to do this one. And because I'm doing free dormitories, I want to keep this on paid, but you could make everything free if you really wanted to. There's just no way to get gold, which we really need gold. So paid meals, we'll get this free for right now. We probably will switch this to paid dormitories, but I usually like to wait until I get a Pegasus, which is a little creature that walks around in school, makes students wealthier. And if you're wondering what your student's wealth is, well, I'll cover that here in a little bit too. Like I said, it's going to be very tutorial here in the beginning until we get into the game. Just explain everything if you're new to this game. Let's go ahead and sign this in. Another thing we really change is just more for these students and shorter curriculum years. All right. Next, we need to create houses. So houses are where you can help like focus student what you want them to do. The first couple, I'm just going to allow all until we start getting more rooms in, and then we'll start specializing. Each house has features. So this one has passionate. Students learn fourth and last magic levels 25% faster. Without permanent buffs, I know I'm not going to get a whole lot of students with level 4 and level 5 magic teaching. So this passionate to me early on has no value, at least in the first school. Jack of all trades learns all first levels of magic 100% faster, which is not bad, especially if I want to make a certain, or I want, to gain as many features as possible as student can get and hope to get those permanent buffs. And then we have worker learns all magic 10% faster. So we can get all magic 10% faster or the first level 100% faster. We are going to get, let's do Jack of all trades. Gourmet. Gourmet is just going to help them lower their hunger. Don't really care about, because once again, we get paid for meals. I want them to eat. It is definitely a time saver if you give them this, but I need gold. So we need them to eat. Chosen by the light or alchemy. These are kind of do the same thing. One's gives you 25% learning speed for alchemy. One's for light. We're going to choose alchemy. And since I always, whatever, like if I choose a certain class, like these are all random, like it's all RNG. I always try to color code them to the whatever I have them matched up with. So as I was matched up with alchemy, we're going to go ahead and give them the blue cloaks. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time on this stuff. Like there we go. How about the lotus flower? That's the name of the house, lotus flower. We'll go ahead and sign that one into law. And the next house we'll go. So we have child of nature, and I think we're going to go ahead and keep child of nature. We already have one class as jack of all trades. We're going to keep child of nature just because we do have, we know we already are putting the stable down. So boom. You can tell by the color. They do these color coded. Hopefully, if you guys are not colorblind, you should have no problem seeing this. I don't know what it's like for people that are colorblind, so I apologize if it's not easy to see. But these are green, so these are for the nature. Is there any way to tell? Not very easily. You can see a little paw print, and then you can see a little paw print there before beast magic. That's kind of the other way to tell, but it is what it is. Here, I'm not going to go through all these because it's ambitious and well behaved. We might get into those later. But diligent is kind of one of my favorite things to grab, because it generates 10% more mana while studying, which we absolutely want. So this is the house we're going to throw everybody into in the beginning, because they have the diligent trait. Because we're not having a priority system. We're allowing everything. We need students to learn as fast as they can, which they're going to learn no matter what. But this is going to generate mana, which is going to allow me to get these going. Let's re-roll. Child of nature. There we go. There's an ant. Can we do black? Let's see. Let's call this one. Oh, I don't know any ant names. I'm going to call you Anton. Anton's house. Anton. Oh, I have to abbreviate. Or we'll just call it Anton House. I think that's how you spell Anton, from Ant-Man. Hopefully some people got that reference. All right, we need green. The starting cloak is green, so here we go. Sign to law. Okay, now we have our two classes, which are great. Before we draw any cards, we're going to go ahead and throw these students in here. So we play the student card. Boom. We automatically get 5 applicants. Like I said, we'll also get applicants at the end of each quarter. They're totally random. Actually, the one thing we need to do is we need to delete this general class. There's no reason to have this general class other than, I forgot to make my classes right away. But once you make your classes, Just delete it. Just delete it. There's no point to it. It doesn't really matter. Once again, we're just throwing everything into where the diligent is. We can separate them out later when it actually becomes more important. We have 750. Let's go ahead. Classes. We're going to remove the general class. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and draw these, see what else we can get. So we have a nature room we don't need. We already have a stable. Teacher's lounge is nice to get, but there's an alchemy room. Will help us start getting some alchemy mana. Definitely want to grab that. Next, alchemy we don't need. We don't need nature either. This game loves to do this. We don't really need an extra dormitory, but we're going to grab one because eventually we will need it. Let me see. Private bedrooms. Another new house. I don't really want to grab a new house in my first school. Private bedrooms are good, but I'm going to grab Village Banner, and there's a reason why we're going to grab the Village Banner, because there's another aspect to this game, which we'll get into at some point. As much as I love these two, I'm immediately going to go to Coat of Arms. One of the most important things you can do in this game is grab things with prestige very, very, very early. Very important, as this prestige number actually is an indication of how many students you can have in your school. The more prestige, the more applicants we get, the more applicants we get, the more gold we get, the more gold we get, the more we can pop open the standard deck. Even though the price of the standard deck goes up as the more time. So every time you click on a deck, right, this cost is 100. The first time we use it, the cost is going to keep going up. The cost goes up every single time you open the deck. So just be wary of that. All right, so we have the coat of arms. We're going to go ahead and throw that in here. Actually, no, I think that goes by active characters. Never mind. We want that in it. We want that in a busier room. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and put the stable down. Boom. So a couple things here with the teachers. Whew, this is going to be a long episode. For the teachers, pedagogy. This tells you how effective they are at teaching. Obviously, mediocre lowers their students' learning rate by 10%. Appropriate is just a normal rate. There's positive effects and then there's negative effects. This one right here. So ancient wisdom, I can't really go over all this. We'll go over this when it's important. But basically what I need you guys to know is that there's a way to get rid of the negative effects. However, you can never get rid of the negative effect that's in blue. These teachers will always have the negative effect that's in blue. Unionize is important because it will tell you how much they cost you. So this person's going to cost me more than this person. And then there's like lawful and good. Like there are buffs matching teachers up with students, like what they are, evil, good, and all that kind of stuff. I don't tend to pay a ton of attention to that, but if you want to, you can really micromanage this game if you really wanted to. I'm not one to super micromanage it because I know what I want to achieve at the end of the day. So that to me is not as important. Student class learns faster. What's elder? Move slower. All right, this seems like there's a lot of buffs with learning and they're appropriate. The X Adventure is nice, but I don't think I really need it. So we're going to go there for my teacher. All right, then after that, we're going to go refectory. Now, refectory is where students eat. We're going to put the coat of arms in this room as it gives me prestige for the amount of active characters. We are putting the fawn here. Actually, so we're going to read the fawn. Creature wanders a school and greatly decreases the growth rate of tiredness, hunger, and boredom of nearby teachers for a long time. So that really affects our teachers, unfortunately. Dormitory, we're going to go ahead and put the dormitory on top of the refectory. Students hall, we're going to go ahead and put that one. I don't like, sometimes I hate the rooms that only go, actually gets here and there, right? When you put a school or a building down, well, you have to hold down the clicker, but it'll tell you exactly how that room connects. So in this room, for example, you can go up, down, left, and right. Not every room you can do that. All right, let's put the alchemy room down. All right, so we have aspiring is one of my favorite things. I don't like the relaxed. This is so this one right here, aspiring, gets rid of my students' negative traits. So your students are going to have positive and negative traits also. And that's why I really like aspiring. She's not as good of a teacher. There's a way we can improve this over time. She's not unionized, so it don't cost me a lot. So I'm going to go here. Not the better teacher, but probably one of my better options this time. The dormitory, I can put down another dormitory, or I can stack them. Right now I'm going to hold on to it because I'm going to need a second dormitory. But I want to put one somewhere else in the school. I don't want them that close together. Village banner. This can go anywhere. You can put something on the wall. We're going to put this right here once again. So in this one, active characters in this room improve your relationship with the peasants. We haven't got into that yet, but we will here shortly. Now that everything's put down, we've done exactly everything that we can do. We're going to let time march on, let our students come in. All right, we're going to have to cut this one off. I did a lot of explaining this game. As I said, it's a lot. I know I wanted to really explain a lot in this first video because, like I said, if you're not familiar with this game at all, there is a lot that goes into it. It's very fun to play. Like I said, it's a simulation strategy type game with like a, I don't know, like a mechanic that, you know, said each school you're trying to put yourself in a better position for the next one. So we got some kind of side mission here with some peasants. We can receive light mana, not bad. We don't have anything generating light yet. We don't need the nature, but the +5 or shadow, taking -20 with the peasants. You know what? I might take the -20 with the peasants right away. Get that shadow mana. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. Let's take a pause. All right. Now the king, this is one thing you also understand. The king will come to you every start of every school. School needs some funny or advanced room. I always choose the advanced room. There are select advanced rooms that there's only a select amount of rooms you can get out of here. There's the Chamber of Truth. I'm just going to go ahead and grab that. Janner's Lodge. All right. I'm trying to get one of each, so I'm definitely going to grab the Chamber of Truth, and I'm going to hope that this shadow deck will give me Assassin's Arena or something else. And we get a prison. Oh, grab the prison. That's not a room. Shoot. Now I wish I would have grabbed the room. All right, let's go ahead and grab. Let's go ahead and grab this. Get light going. Appropriate. Unionized, no. Functional researcher. I like researcher. We're going to do researcher because this helps generate more mana. Tough one. The prison we're going to hold on to for right now. We will eventually put it down. For right now, there's no gain. We started in winter. We're now in spring, so we're going to get some new students. Right now, we're getting 3 applicants, and this might have something to do with me charging 30. 30 per student. Once again, they're all going to Anton's house until we get our objectives. All right, so things come in. You see the mana grow up. We need 100 to pop the nature deck. All right, there's 100 for the nature deck. And when I pop this, game automatically pauses when I pop the deck. You can see now the next draw costs 150. You see how this price tag goes up as you draw. This is a really good one. We have no way of teaching herbalism right now, but the getting the faster walk speed is huge. We already have a fawn. This actually indicates you here at the top here. It tells you already have one. Butterfly wings. When students at least level 1 in herbalism, which is a different magic. I'll explain here in a little bit. They have fairy wings, which prevents them from misbehaving. They also need elementalism, which we don't have any arcane. I was hoping to get that with the king. Didn't happen. Actually, we might be able to get it with her. All right, so we're gonna go Wolf's Tooth, and hopefully we find a way to help our students get herbalism at some point. All right, so mage, you get this one all the time. There are a couple of different things you can choose every time you get a card out of 3. My favorite one to pick always, and now you guys will see me always pick it, is the one that can blow things up. As it gives me rooms. And like I said, I usually get 2 different rooms. I'm going to pass on demonology. I'm going to go straight elementalism. All right, so let's go ahead and pick you there. Another researcher. Both appropriate. No union. You have Hawkeye and researcher. I'm going to go right there. I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to play Wolf's Tooth. That's just something you play. It's a permanent buff for the rest of the time in your school. It does not carry over to the next one. And we're going to see what these guys want. You're going to have things with the trolls, all this school. Each school has like their own like specific thing that they do. This one's with the trolls. I may end up getting attacked. Hopefully we can find a way to prevent that. But for right now, it's just basically kind of a warning. And the last thing I want to cover before we end this episode is this right here, the guinea pig. So when you click on the guinea pig, you can interact with different groups. Now, the permanent groups are the adventurers, the king, the peasants, the orcs, the Inquisition, and the Lord of Evil. Sleeping Trolls is specific to this map. The trolls, I may or may not have an objective to deal with them. The peasants is usually my favorite thing to do. As you can see what you get there per the buffs. When you have plus 25% favor, your teacher salaries are lower by 30%. If for some reason I drop below 25%, my teacher salaries increase by 40%. The king is also another one of my favorite things to go to. as I can get my students wealthier on average. But also like getting to 75% with the faster loading speed of the messenger guinea pig. So I'm gonna go to the peasants, try to prevent that loss from happening. Let's wrap this up. Where we're gonna go? All right, so favor with the peasants, +5 for free, or another -20 for shadow. I can't afford another -20. Let's get the +5 for free. All right, guys, that's what we're gonna wrap up this episode. Like I said, as we get through all this stuff that we're talking about, we'll move through the schools a lot faster and faster. But I do want to keep my runtime around 25 minutes. I'm slightly above that right now. So with that said, guys, if you're enjoying it so far and you can't wait to see all of it, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and don't forget to leave me a comment. And like always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.